So I thought I'd show you guys an inside look in how one would strategize work and life in the Structured Daily Planner app. This is getting pretty deep. We're going to go into the studio here and figure this out together. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do this. This is a listening episode because my work and life are very personal to me. And I want you to adapt this to your own work and life in the Structured app. Use this as a guide. Grab your favorite productivity drink because this is going to be a guide on how to walk you through this. This is why a personal planner is so valuable for you. More valuable than a main team planner, perhaps, because this walks you through your very personal landscape of life that is really your business and no one else's. And you'll see why as I walk you through it. So what you're going to do, assuming that you've decided that Structured Daily Planner app is your professional personal planner, is the planner that works with you through chaos, is the planner for your life, you decided to go pro, which is like $15 a year at this point. And let's say you open this. I tend to have a shortcut in my control center that will open the Structured Daily Planner for me. It will open my AI section as a shortcut because I use this all the time. It's like my whiteboard in my planner. It's like if you flipped open your planner, you go to the back of your planner and you got a blank page ready to lay out your floor plan, your strategy, your blueprint, if you will, right? So you're going to go into there. There's going to be some templates in the AI, some prompt templates. But what you can do is start typing. And typing is so... People love to demonize typing and say that pen and paper is the key. So that can be partially true if you prefer pen and paper. If your brain works with pen and paper, you can do this. You can flip open your planner that you've made with your notebook or your planner that you bought, and you can go to the back and you can write on paper. And then you snap a picture in Structured AI and it will create this digital space, this digital blueprint for you. Or for some of us whose brains work better, because I'm not applying your visual acuity here, because I have had my brain work on steroids creating Braille planners over the years. So I'm not with Brailler and paper and the hard work that comes with it, the challenges that come with it. I've had just these steroid moments doing this. So I'm not even demonizing pen and paper, Braille writer and paper, if you will. I've been very grateful at that time to have that on steroids, to have that art, to have that fulfillment for myself. But typing on the go like this, for some of us who are very digital, is the key for this. And so however you do this, talking as well, there's a microphone that comes with the Structured AI and you can talk to it. And you could also, if you are a student, there are some sample prompts that come in here for you, because if you're a student, you don't have time to design your own blueprint. So they give you blueprints that are written for you to start with, and you can tweak those because you have studying and you have work to do. So unless you're in a tech sort of mindset as a student and you're very technical, then you can still design your own. And so what you're going to do is help me strategize a work plan based on, and insert your business here. This is none of my business. I don't want to know what's on your work strategy. I don't want to know what's in your business strategy. But let's say it's help me strategize to write a bake sale access page with shipping options, payment options, and suggestive tactics to build relationships within this dynamic, right? So then what you're going to do is you're going to write that out. You're going to hit generate, and what it's going to do is it's going to give you a list of tasks, most likely going into your inbox as a group of tasks, main tasks that you'll want to time batch. Now, time batching, as we've learned from the OGs of time who may not even use AI at this point to design their time fully. They might use a little bit of it. They might have dabbled in it. But they did teach us about the time batching method where once these are in your inbox, you're going to want to pick a date that you are working. Or you can essentially leave them in your inbox, but you're going to be working your way backwards. So you choose. If it's something that you feel like you're working creatively off the cuff and you don't want to schedule these, it takes the legwork, though, out of having to think or research about what the fuck you're supposed to do with this work or this business in front of you, especially if you know that you're creating value for clients or for other people. So what you're going to want to do is you are going to, in fact, you can look at these when you create and structured AI and see if it agrees with your aligned outcome of what you want. Or you're going to, once you've kind of done that, you hit accept all and you're going to go into your inbox where this will most likely be placed. And you will want to work your way backwards because it started with the first task and ended with the last task. And the inbox goes in order of, it goes kind of in a backwards order with the latest task being at the end of your inbox. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going backwards. You're going to, from your last task, and you can quickly add, there's an add button if you're using VoiceOver in the rotor actions sections that you can add to your timeline right then and there, and you pick that date or leave it in your inbox and you just work your way backwards. But if you're adding to your timeline and picking a date, you can start with that last task in your inbox. That will show up on the date that you pick with the time in the morning, for example, or the afternoon or the evening, whenever you work. Sometimes I work night shifts, so I understand that. Other times I'll work afternoon shifts. I don't have a set, routine of this is work and this is family and this is bullshit because it all blends together. I have such a flexible work life that I prefer it to blend together. And sometimes the family has work of their own, whether it's schoolwork or other kinds of work in business and in productivity that they need to attend to. It could be tech work, professional work, whatever that they're attending to. So it would be better instead of me bugging and nagging everybody and being this mother hen all the time to the household, I can respect that we all want to work different hours at times, and I can respect everybody's schedule instead of trying to reinforce my own and what that should look like versus what it actually is. And so because of that, the house works in harmony. Everybody feels like they can be themselves. We work from home. The school is I consider it both because I'm involved in the education system. So we do hybrid work in that. And the communities that we're involved in, we do work in and things like that. So a lot of this is your professional paid work. that needs to deeply be respected, because there are peak hours at night and peak hours in the afternoon as well as morning where, and even on weekends, sometimes my best work gets done on weekends and my best family time is going to be weeknights. I don't know why, but to me, that's how it goes. Instead of picking this old system up and repeating it in your technology, you can create your new system within it. That's what makes this planner work so well with chaos, work so well with life, work so well with human nature and health. So, with the AI to back you up. So, you're working your way, you're picking your date and time, and what you'll notice when you go to your second task and update this, I tend to turn my alerts off for work tasks, especially if it's personal productivity, I will have those on. And if it's unique, I will have those on. And if it's a certain kind of work that has to do with focusing on people specifically, I will have alerts on, because I take people very seriously in my work and I want to make sure I show up for them. So, and make them a priority, right? So what that means is that once you get to your first task, you're happy with the details it suggests, you realize that it's giving you a blueprint. So you're like, oh, I didn't think about, I might want to research this topic. I might want to look into designing this framework. You're cutting out the entire middleman of having to research at this point. So then once you get to your second task, you're going to notice the same day that you picked for that first task to start your plan is the same date that you picked, and it is going to follow up the same. It's going to work forward in the time frame that your first task started. So if your first task started at 9 a.m. on the 14th of the month, your second task may start at 9:50 on the 14th of the month. And so you don't even have to pick a new date. The AI of Structured Daily Planner app will time batch for you. So the one reason why Structured sort of helped me to want to create within the planner, I want to design within the planner, and it really made me think about time in a different way, is because it's not enforcing time blocking, but it's also teaching you time techniques at the same time in a creative, like you're learning how to creatively manage your time as someone interested in health, as an artist, as a creator. Well, an artist and creator, same thing. But you get the point. Like, you're learning to creatively manage your time as this flighty creator who works with chaos. That's what the Structured Daily Planner app does. So once you've gotten all that time batched, you can decide, do you want alerts for each task? Do you want alerts for your first task and alerts for your last task? Do you want to check in with your planner? Did you start this task? Did you finish this task? Those are two separate alerts. You can check in with your planner if you want that. I've done that with places I've went before because I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. And I've done that with people I've checked in because I wasn't sure that was going to work out and I needed to hold myself accountable. A way with AI that you can also check in is you text your Structured AI what you're doing at the moment in the present, and checking in with Structured AI, checking in with your Structured Planner, instead of time blocking, time tracking, backtracking as a separate task. You're doing it in a present way, in the moment. You're living in the moment and checking in with your planner as you go. That's a really cool way of doing it. And if you are somebody who's like, I have this theme, this holiday coming up, I have no idea how the hell to celebrate it, you can go into your Structured AI and write plan a, like, let's say you've never celebrated Thanksgiving and it's your first time celebrating Thanksgiving. You're new to the country, or the culture, or like you have different cultures that celebrate different holidays. Plan my Thanksgiving weekend with suggestions of things of how I can spend my weekend with a Thanksgiving theme or something like that. And so this whole structured planner is teaching you strategy. It's saving you hours in research. This $15 a year is like really worth it. I'm not getting paid to tell you that. You can decide, you can tell me to go fuck myself and that you're never paying a dime for your planner if you are just looking at making a planner in Apple Notes. Those are fun and they're free, and you can do quite a bit of high-tech stuff with notifications in Apple Notes as well, and all kinds of stuff, and integrate it with reminders and calendar and all kinds of different things if you want to take that time and do that. But this is a planner with strategy. This is a planner that actually manages chaos very quickly, and it's more about efficiency. And so it's really for those of us who are scatterbrained, creative, ADHD, chaotic, all the time. And it's for those of us who really don't want routines forced on us, but who need a strategy plan, who overanalyze. This is the planner that lets you analyze your life. This is the planner that works with chaos. This is the planner that weaves your love of an out of order life, if you will. This is a planner that is going to benefit you in this way. But if you don't believe in paying for things in the App Store or the Play Store, and you don't believe that this is worth it, then you're not going to get any value out of this. But it's something to consider deeply if you are into deep work, if you are into creative philosophy, if you are into learning and kind of wanting to understand life without having to research your way in a maze of rabbit holes all day. So just my thoughts on how structured can help you strategize your life. Really exciting on working with this. I'm just so grateful for this. This is like my gift for 2025 to myself, honestly. And I'm really, really impressed with it. And I'm showing all my friends and spamming all my friends this app, because if you guys are going to bring up your calendar to me and you know me and all of that, here's a personal calendar, because that's what this is. If you're going to just talk to me about your schedule, this is the planner. And it's personal, and it is none of anybody else's business but yours. That's what I love, because family and friends would rather focus on just communicating with you. People don't always want to use a calendar to team up with you. And why is that really their problem? That is on you to have a calendar, have a planner of your own, have a full-on planner that can help you design. That is really not their responsibility. If they don't want to use a calendar, who are we to tell them that they should use a calendar just so that it's convenient for you to communicate with them? Communicate with them in WhatsApp if that's what they prefer. Communicate with them in Messenger if you feel more safe doing so and you don't want to give your phone number out. In email, maybe. In texting. In person, like in your household, right? But, that's what I like to do with productivity is, what is your learning style and what is your communication style? You might not give a fuck about this planner because it's not your communication style. Luckily, I haven't put all my eggs in one basket as a creator, and I haven't said that you have to have a calendar to win in life. I don't say that. I don't preach that. I don't teach this bullshit of fail to plan and plan to fail. That's bullshit. No, it's a learning style. It's a planning preference. And if you're the type of person who shoves this shit down your kid's throat, your kids are not going to want to plan. They're going to hate routines all the time. And so making it fun would be beneficial if you really want to instill that in them. Coloring a coloring book, working with clocks, working with all that, if you want to instill anything into them. But, to make this a forced hammer situation is not going to be very smart if you want to work effectively with a team. Especially if they don't want to be high tech, if they don't care. That calendar is going to get fucked up and messed up. I've seen influencers that I've worked with, because I have worked a little bit with influencers high end long enough. I'm very loyal as a person, and I've worked with influencers here and there. I'm not always the same when it comes to money. I like change, but when it comes to the relationships, I'm very loyal. And so I was working with influencers in the past, and their calendars would get so fucked up because they're trying to force it on their team who doesn't give a fuck. And either they themselves would fuck up their calendar because they're overwhelmed with their team, or their team would fuck up their calendar and trying to over communicate there and over duplicate their events and all of that kind of stuff. And so it's kind of silly to put that on other people or overwhelm yourself with trying to enforce this as a value onto somebody else. I've tried it as well, and I fucked up my own calendar too. It's not me just saying this from like this high horse place. I've done the same thing I've tried forcing my calendar on. Now, sometimes I've had very successful meetings in person because I invited everybody through a calendar. I did that years ago with Google Calendar, and it was awesome. And Google Calendar is honestly the best way to work with a team if a team loves it. And then it integrates with your structured planner. But then you can also add subtasks to that are personal, that wouldn't show up in the Google Calendar. So you can still personalize your team plans, integrate them with Google Calendar, and then add your personal touch in the Structure Daily Planner app. Now, that will edit in Google Calendar as far as the schedule goes, but you can add your subtasks. Your notes will also show up in the calendar, so it's not completely private, but your subtasks you can experiment if you have a lot of teams. And I've had a lot of teams. I don't prefer to work that way because, like I said, I had a very successful, huge meeting in person with Google Calendar because I invited everybody, and they happen to be very smart, to be honest with you. If they weren't smart, it wouldn't have worked. It's not because I'm that persuasive. It's because they are high tech. Then I've had meetings go shitty because I tried to enforce my calendar versus their calendar. That didn't work. And then I've had meetings where I was frustrated because nobody used a calendar, and I was way too focused on that, and I didn't focus on the context of the meeting. So we really need to be a little more adaptable to people's learning styles and not try to force feed our apps onto people. I'm walking out of the studio. I'm walking out of this episode. I hope that you have gotten some kind of takeaway out of this, if this is something that you are interested in. So take care of yourself, take care of your life, take care of each other. And I will see you later in the next one.